where it's at. 2 turntables and a microphone. Where it's at. Two turntables and a microphone.
And why aren't you screaming? Why aren't...
Read all about it.
There he goes.
Read all about it. Sunday papers coming in from St. Louis. Not St. Louis, St. Louis. As well as
Chris
Nashville, Tennessee.
Sure.
And L.A., dude.
Nice, man. Yeah, why aren't you on the road?
All right. I have, well, I don't go on the road every weekend. I'm around this weekend. I did a bunch of shows at the store in the Improv. And then Tom O'Neill came out to my show at the Improv last night. We're supposed to meet up with Mary Fitz, and then she came down with a migraine.
Oof.
So we went out to this really cool restaurant that Santino recommended. So fucking good.
What was it?
Next time we're in Hollywood, we're going to have to go to this place. It's called...
Is it called Dick's? Because Santino eats a lot of dicks.
Damn.
What?
L'Antica Pizzeria de Michel. Really good food. Cool, very cool atmosphere without being pretentious.
High end or what?
No, I would say medium to upper end. No, upper end, but not expensive. It was three of us. I picked up the check, and it was $1.20 with tip.
Why wasn't I there? I've never seen that.
Yeah, and the great Kira Sultanovich came out with us. You know her, right?
Yep.
God damn,
great.
She's the most underrated comic in L.A. I used to say that about Ian Bagg, and now he's blowing up. But she's really great. And then, then I went to the store, and I had a set Wednesday night. And you know the store, you introduce the person after you?
Yeah.
So Bobby Lee was on after me, and I just went up, and for some reason, I just fucking annihilate. It was like sometimes you just find a rhythm, and you just, and the crowd is right. And he went on stage, and then he talked about it on his podcast the next day. He went on stage and bombed and said it was my fault because I did so well, and then he cried before he got off the stage.
What?
That's what you want to do as a comedian. You want to make the next guy fucking cry.
You feel so good about your job after that happens? That's fantastic.
Yes, definitely. It's like being an abortion doctor. If the person's not crying when you're done, you didn't really do your job.
That's fat. Well, if you did that material, he might not have cried. If you included that joke,
right? We had last week. We did our St. Patrick's Day show at the Improv.
We sure did.
And you went up. I thought you did great. You don't seem to feel that you did as well as
I tried talking about Amsterdam and too much about Anne Frank. The institutional knowledge of Anne Frank was, I don't think, great in the audience also. But anyway, it was all right. And then I just started.
You closed strong. Well, here's the thing that I would say to you. It was
short, though. You got to give me credit. It was short.
Here's the thing I would say to you, and I assumed you knew this after being around comedy for this many years. You don't ever open on brand new shit. You got to give them one or two jokes.
Of course I don't know that. Oh, what do you mean? That's all I have. I don't do comedy.
You have jokes that you know work. You got enough material that works.
I know, but this is the thing. I think I do stand-up once a year. I think these people saw me last year.
You think I don't repeat jokes in front of these people?
I know it's a problem, Greg. It's a problem.
Although people were upset I didn't do my Florence McCarthy joke this year. They kind of, it's my Freebird, I think, on the St. Patrick's Day show.
You did very well, though. Everyone was talking about it, including me. Like that was, and you had to have felt that was one of your best years.
It felt good. Yeah, it felt really fun.
It was really good.
And I thought that the whole show, Harlan led it off, which he shouldn't go on first because the crowd, they need to see a bunch of normal comedy and then see a guy who's doing anti-comedy.
Right.
For it to really pop the way it should.
That's what happened last year. That's what happened last year. He popped like crazy. It was great.
And the Sklar brothers are just so strong because now they've got this, they've kind of changed their style a little bit. They used to tag each other, and now they both land on the punchline together. It's like a sledgehammer.
And they're kind of doing, like, they break into mini sketches.
Yeah.
I think I could talk about it. They have a very funny bit. I won't do specifics. They have a very funny bit if their kid was kidnapped and the conversation they'd have with the person demanding ransom. And I think it was a one-sided call, but then the other brothers in the room, like, well, what did he say? It's like watching a sketch. It was very, very funny.
Yeah. And then, who else went on the show? Oh, Annie Letterman was on fire.
She destroyed.
And it was great. It was sold out. It sells out every year. So every year, got to get your tickets early. People get upset. And then me and Laureen made Irish soda bread. Everybody in the crowd got a piece of home-baked Irish soda bread. We had a contest. I won it, although she's disputing the results. She's saying the election was fixed.
Just like you did last year when she won.
That's right.
And then Dennis Gibbons all of a sudden appeared.
Well, Dennis was not given a spot on the show this year. But I said, let's do a sketch. And so he did a very funny little bit where he walked around like a lunatic, like an Irish waiter. He was dressed as a waiter. And then I said, you're not a waiter. I said, I know the whole wait staff here. You're not a waiter at the Improv. And then he was scanning people's faces in the crowd. And he says, I'm looking for Kate Middleton. And it was a whole thing about how he was going to kidnap her to free Northern Ireland. That was fun. Needed a blow. It needed an ending a little bit.
Right.
But
then ahead of his time, he was like, she should get cancer. I thought that was weird.
He didn't say that. The logo this week comes from. Oh wait, we got other stuff to talk about. Oh, and then St. Patrick's Day night, we went out on our friend's boat, Matthew, who's Tom's nephew. He's got this little. What do you call that boat? What kind of boat?
Oh yeah,
is that?
I do know the name of it. I forget. It's an electric boat, and it seats
a pontoon kind of a boat.
10 people. Yeah, not a pontoon though. I forget the name of that boat, but yeah.
But it was a beautiful night, and we cruised around the marina. Everybody took mushrooms, and then
what? Yeah, I didn't. By the way, I got there late, I guess.
Oh, and then and there was this girl there who I am so in love with. She is a friend of Matthew's, and she's like, I mean, she's got to be 25 or something. And she's a funky lesbian chick who crushes grapes up in Northern California for most of the time. And now she's living in one of those crazy apartments that's on the boardwalk in Venice Beach. And she just like glowed positive energy. And she was such a nice addition to the night.
I think it's a Duffy.
Yes, that's what it's called. It's a Duffy.
It's a Duffy electric boat. You'll see them. They're like a little living room on the water. I mean, not a living room, but it's everyone sitting around. And it's enclosed.
You can enclose it with the plastic, which was nice because it did get a little chilly. And then we decided we got hungry around 9:00 and we're like, let's go to Killer Shrimp because Killer Shrimp has its own slip, so you can dock your boat and go right into the restaurant. And so we're so excited.
Right in might be an overstatement. We all had to climb over a locked fence.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Then we got to the gate on the slip and it was locked. Who was the first one over? Was it you?
I was one of the first. I don't know if I was the first.
But some of the women had on skirts and high-heeled shoes, and all of a sudden it was like there's like crowd of people watching us almost fall into the water.
Yeah, the whole restaurant outside, was watching us.
And then we get into the restaurant, and I swear to God, it's a big restaurant. There was hundreds of people eating, and it was 99% black in an area that's predominantly white. And I mean, I guess shrimp is a pretty big dish in black culture because I've never seen anything like it.
That's the theory, huh?
Well, what's your theory?
My theory is you're racist.
I mean, no, give me another theory besides.
It's gotten to be a popular place. Maybe it's always been, obviously there's places where the demographics skew one way or another. So
all right, so you're telling me that a restaurant in an all-white area that's filled completely, the population is black, that it doesn't have something to do with the only entree that they have on the menu, which is shrimp.
It's killer shrimp, man. I don't know. Well, listen, it's not like it's an inexpensive place. Like if you went off the stereotypes of like Red Lobster or something like that,
Red Lobster's not cheap.
Socioeconomically, that makes sense.
All right, we're probably going to get in trouble. Let's just move on. So
I'm trying to talk technically here.
And now both our parents, is a health update on both our parents. My mom had an MRI. They're exploring some things with her, but she's doing good.
I did not know that. I'm sorry.
Well, we should talk more. I started telling you. This
you and your mom, you mean?
No, we're playing golf, and we're sitting on the fourth tee. And we're sitting on the bench, and I start telling you, opening up about my trip to Florida and how my mom's got a pretty major health concern going right now. And then you go, nice drive, Mikey. And then you literally just stood up and walked over and teed off while I sat there. I was like, I can't fucking believe what just happened.
Well, I was down in Florida with my dad, and I see where I get a lot of that from. So I apologize for that. No, but then I heard everything. I mean, I don't want to talk about it here, but I heard the concern. I heard how it's physically manifesting and why she's looking into it.
Yeah, but she's fine. If anybody's listening to the podcast that knows my mom she's fine. She's a little exploring. Look, she's 82. There's a lot of exploring that goes on at that age. And then your dad, of course, had a little procedure, which went
just
fine.
A simple thing where they go in and they burn his heart. So it's a stop AFib, and it's called an ablation. He's already had one, and this was the follow up to it. They knew they didn't get all of it last time, and so then, but it went well. So then they were like, let's wait and see. I think they waited. It's a little over a year, probably, or a year. Anyway, but so he's fine. He did spend the night in hospital. Florida is, first of all, Florida hospitals are next level, and I don't mean in a good way. If you go to a hospital that, a public hospital has an emergency room in Florida, they are busy. Let's just put it that way. They are busy.
With who?
And then with gunshot victims, stabbings, you name it.
Homeless people?
Look at our Florida man stories.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, I went out though, after 9, and it's by like Lake Worth or something. And I went to this Starbucks because I knew he wanted smooth. His throat was sore from being the tubes going down it. So anyway, I got basically a Starbucks milkshake, but it was open. I knew what it was. Great. And I went there, and I have to say, if I lived in Florida, I think I would definitely own a gun, because I just felt so vulnerable and scared of everybody around me and their guns.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like, you gotta just understand the terrain there and understand that the cops aren't going to get there before this guy shoots you with his gun.
I know. I'm now talking like an old man, but it's also, and Lake Worth is nice and all that, and West Palm is, super expensive, but it's like, and I know we do Florida man, but it truly is like every neighborhood, this sounds horrible, but has dirt bags in it. Like no matter what neighborhood you're in, there's a fucking crazy jacked truck and tatted up flip-flop guy. And it just seems to be everywhere. Anyway.
Well, it's also, I think when you're in an area that has people that are really dissimilar from you, like a guy with flip-flops and tattoos, you just don't see that in other places. So it causes alarm. I think just in a biological level, there's something that's different here. And it kind of goes to the heart of racism in some ways, is there's the other. There's the people that are mysterious to you because they are physically different. And it causes apprehension. And worst case scenario, it causes bad behavior and racism. And what you're experiencing right now is your sort of racism towards Florida people. It's worse than your racism towards Philly people.
Yeah, and I guess it doesn't feel like it because, they're all white. But yeah, it is definitely, it is a form of discrimination for sure. Prejudice, I should say prejudice. But, and I don't know, I haven't done a good job describing it because, a jacked up truck and tats doesn't mean someone's a dirtbag. But I was like looking over my shoulder constantly. And I just I feel safer in technically less safe places, like in Venice sometimes. And
that's so funny you say that, because like I was walking down my street and I live in Venice, and I like that I have to look over my shoulder a little bit. I like that I have to watch my step and be aware. I lived in New York for a decade in the city, and I lived in Boston for a lot of years. And, I've always lived in cities, and all these people go, Venice Beach, I'm in the mood to fucking... Shut the fuck up and grow a dick. It's a fucking city. And you know what you get with a city? You get artists, you get diversity, you get a little edge, you get a little grit. It's interesting. It's exciting. If you want to go live in a gated community in fucking Ohio, get the fuck out. I don't need you here. Stop acting like I'm the freak for living in a place that has action, that has a naked woman swinging a fucking sword on Venmo. Remember our story last week? A naked woman swinging. You going to get that in Toledo? Fuckface? No. You're going to get a bunch of overweight people walking through a mall talking about what they saw on Netflix last night. Get out of here.
Get him out. Get out of Greg's face. All right, to lighten up the Florida thing, this was hysterical. So I'm in the hospital.
But let me just follow up on saying on the stereotyping thing. So sometimes we get shit from listeners that we make cheap shots on racial stereotypes, and we are actually very serious about going out of our way to stop doing that as much and stop taking the low-hanging fruit and shooting a little higher in our comedy. Just putting that out there.
Gotcha. Who complained? The Asians?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So here's a funny thing. All right, so I'm in the hospital. Oh, by the way, here come types, and I'm about to do an accent. I'm in there at night, and the nurse who's in charge of getting the dinner orders, I don't know this, is going around. Now, almost every nurse, including the male nurses, sounded like they had Islander accents. Jamaica and other Caribbean islands and stuff like that, because this is right near West Palm, right? So anyway, and a lot of the people on the floor, almost all of them, because he was in the cardiac wing of the hospital, are old. And I just heard, so the first thing I heard before I knew what was going on was, omelette, eggs. Now, just I can't get in trouble because I can't do an accent. So I am actually not even doing an accurate accent. So it's such a blend that I don't think I can get canceled.
Is the guy Colombian?
Well, this was a woman with a very big voice going, and you hear like, huh? And he's like, omelette, waffle. And he's like, what? And so he has incredible trouble hearing. And my dad took out his hearing aids. So then all of a sudden I'm walking down the hall and I hear, he's like, I don't know what I hear my dad's voice. I don't know what you're saying. And I had already experienced watching this all up and down the hallways of old people like, what? Nothing. I don't want anything. They're like, you don't want breakfast? He's like, what? And it was hysterical. So now I hear my dad's voice. I don't know what you're saying. And I run in and I'm like, let's do it. And I'm like, it's omelet. And he's like, no, what else? I'm like, and meanwhile, I already know the whole menu because I've heard it up and down the hallway.
Yeah.
And I saved the day and he ordered his breakfast. But it's not only an island, like basically it's a heavy Jamaican accent, but they're forced to wear masks.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So there's no even, so, I see my dad like looking at this masked woman who's screaming out different, like, sides in this for your juice, for my what? And like, it was crazy. I should have pressed record on my phone. It was so funny.
No juice? No, yeah. There's a lot of Jews here. No juice?
Yeah. Anyway, that was amazing. And then the last thing I'll say about Florida, man, is in that part of Florida anyway, in addition to the people we've already talked about, it's like yellow lines in the middle of the road are like a gentle suggestion that often people's left wheels are just entirely on the other side of it.
Right. I know.
An adventure.
No, there was a comedian in Boston. He used to say, if you're driving in Florida and a car stops ahead of you and it lasts longer than 20 seconds, they're dead. Drive around.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you to Joseph Tarnacki, who made a great logo this week. Kind of a throwback to, we had a couple similar ones years ago.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you look very similar.
The old Newsy Boys, and you're in the background. And no Gubbins. I kept scanning the face to see if they put a Gubbins back there. That's always extra point on the logos if you do that. Looking for new logos, by the way, and songs. If you want to pull out your pens and your guitars, fitzdogradio@gmail.com. Send them in. We love them. We appreciate them. Rob Mitchell, what a great song this week.
Yeah.
And also,
thank you, Rob.
You get a clip of these songs at the beginning of the show, but if you ever want to hear the whole song, we always play it at the end of the episode. So check that out. Thank you, Rob. Corrections, a bunch.
Wait, do you have paper? Remember, corrections is our own here. Little.
I got banana chips bag. Here we go.
I got one too. We'll split duties. Go ahead. Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
This is from Gaz, who says, I'm sure you'll get a bunch of these, but Satanists don't believe in Satan or Lucifer or any embodiment of the devil. They believe in and follow satanic teachings, which are really not bad when you read them. Keep an eye on this fucking guy. Anyway, love the show. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, I don't know what he means.
I guess
don't worship the devil?
Well, I think satanic is a pagan, it's an ancient pagan religion. And maybe it's like killer whales. Like killer whales don't kill people. And yet they're called killer whales. Figure that out.
You're talking about the orcas?
Christians today don't really follow the teachings of Christ. Figure that out. It doesn't make sense.
Here we go. No, they do the opposite. Satanism, the worship or veneration of Satan, a figure from Christian belief who is also commonly known as the devil or Lucifer. Okay.
All right, Gaz. Well, these are suggested corrections. Sometimes they're wronger than we are. Kurt says, I think you and Mike missed a decent joke last week. We get a lot of these. People telling us a joke we missed. When you recounted the story of watching porn for the first time and your Colombian's friend's brother, who was in jail for cocaine trafficking, grabbed your dick, you could say he was you could say he was just saying hello to your little friend. Hey now. That's not bad. Good. I like that. That was good.
Andy, there's two camps of Satanists now, modern Satanists. Are you a modern Satanist? There's the atheists or the rationalists. And the rationalists, Satan is a symbol of values they wish to champion, and the supernatural, whatever, okay? Seems like they worship the devil, but all right.
Andy in San Diego. I know it may be a bit, but San Diego is not white. La Jolla is white, similar to Bel Air and East LA. And I looked it up, and yeah, San Diego is also a county, and I believe there's a large amount of Latinos and Asians, so fine. But yeah, in the area I was in, La Jolla, it is white with the H first.
Right.
David says on a recent podcast, Fitzdog Radio, you mentioned that you heard, it's Fitzdog Radio, that you heard that massage in Thailand is only done by the blind. I had that story about, I got a blind massage. I told you that story, right?
Yeah.
As someone that has been to Thailand a few times, I can 100% inform you that it is not the case. There are blind massage places. These are places less likely to offer a happy ending, though that still happens. So some of the blind places, the blind places don't offer the happy ending. I think that if I was going to go to a happy ending place in Thailand, I think I want them blind. I don't want a woman looking at me, in that state of shame.
And also when you're just handing her $1 bills when you're paying at the end.
Exactly. Tour dates coming up. Boca Raton, Florida, Meisner Park, April 3rd. Come on down and say hi to my mom. She'll be there with a large number of old people from her building.
Do you want a vodka soda? A what? Oh, yeah, but the gin and tonic? The what?
Also at that show, two of my best friends from high school will be there.
Wow.
And then a guy from Best Buddies, who's kind of my point person for the last 10 years of working with Best Buddies. Mark Wiley will be there. It's going to be a party. I'm going down a day early to hang out with my high school buddies. One of them got into Wall Street, started a hedge fund, is now ready for this, billionaire.
We talked about it. You guys split a bill once. I never understood it.
That's right. But
never understood it.
I guess he's got a pretty insane place in Miami, so I'm going to stay there for a couple nights. And then I'm going to head to Tampa to Side Splitters, April 4th to the 6th. Mamaroneck at the Emmeline Theater, May 31st. Just announced we are now locked down for Austin, the Mothership, June 7th through the 9th.
Oh, nice.
And then Pittsburgh, I'm doing the WDVE Festival with Harlan Williams on June 21st. Tickets
very cool.
For everything at fitzdog.com. Now let's talk about, we have a lot of sponsors, tickets. But I got to say, this is the one that just pays off for our listeners. We get so much good email about Game Time. It's really changed people's lives.
Got it called up right here. You want to see the Sixers at the Clippers tomorrow, 12:30, $21, and we know that's going to go.
No way.
We know that's going to go down. Yup. The NCAA women's tournament, I got to tell you, way more popular than the WNBA. We got that, although it is $36, but it's Monday the 25th. What other bands? I like going to Discover because they show you everything, and I've said that before. So wait, that's L.A. Let me go to Nashville. Let me see what's popping in Nashville.
And in the meantime, let me remind you guys that it is the fast and easy way to buy tickets. The app is so easy. A couple of taps, you got it in your phone. You don't have to download. You don't have to transfer. You don't have to print. It's just there, and you can take a look at what your seats look like. They've got a viewing function on the app where you can look around. It's a low price guarantee. They have event cancellation protection. And last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And I like going on, as I said, to Discover just to see what's going on that night, because a lot of times it's like I use it almost as the entertainment listings for the town. Red Wings at Predators. Geez, today at 4, I guess that's heating up because that's still at 2:03, but it will drop. I was scanning this, so I don't know what you heard. Did you talk about the zone deals and everything?
Yeah.
The game time guarantee? You talked about that?
Yep. Did it all. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PAPERS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PAPERS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right,
nice.
Let's get to it. Front page.
Extra! Read all about it! Extra!
Here we go. Crinkle that banana wrapper.
Foremost Group CEO Angela Chow was intoxicated last month when she accidentally drove her Tesla SUV in reverse over a wall into a pond on the Texas ranch she owned with her husband. This is Angela Chow. Chow drowned after friends and rescue workers tried without success to get the 50-year-old out of the submerged vehicle. It showed her blood alcohol level was at 0.233. That is 3 times the legal limit to drive. Her sister-in-law, you might note, is Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's. That's his sister-in-law.
Her sister's married to Mitch McConnell.
Correct. That's what his sister-in-law is.
Which supplies
Mike
all
Gibbons.
the conflict of interest, by the way, which McConnell has been very rightly accused of. Anyway, favoring policies that will benefit his wife's company.
So, an Asian woman backed a car into a pool.
Well, you can't talk about it after your little announcement up top?
Sure.
All right.
This hurts. This physically hurts. By the way, Mitch McConnell blames Tesla and Obama, which I thought was weird.
I think I can say I wish she was driving her brother-in-law at the time. That's fair.
You can say that. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Well, I will say this bitch can pregame, man.
Yeah, she hadn't even left the house yet.
0.233. I don't want to make light of it. I mean, it's a tragedy. Her billionaire husband, I don't know if he was home, but that's the ranch they live on together.
Yep. You think with all that money, they could build a bigger wall behind the Asian wife's path of driving.
Or a wall that can contain a Tesla.
Yeah.
Is a Tesla in a pool like a toaster in a tub? Is it on just electricity everywhere?
Yeah, I think she did not drown. I think that she was fried. She got fried.
Do you think it was suicide?
No.
All right.
No.
Hey, did you hear the national story? Changing gears for a second. It's very sad. They found this kid in the river here in Nashville. He's from Missouri.
Jesus.
He went to Mizzou. But it became a national story. It's in People magazine and everything. He went to a bar in downtown and he was in like a celebrity woman's bar. I forget, Casey Musgrave. Someone has I don't go to those bars. Then he was in like Jason Aldean's bar. He gets kicked out. Meanwhile, he was on the phone with his parents like 2 hours earlier. This was a mystery. He was missing for a week. And, talked to his parents and seemed kind of sober. So they're like, how did he get so shit-faced so fast? And I don't know all the details. And some other people, maybe Gail follows this also. But he gets kicked out of like, say, Aldean's bar, I think it was. And he goes out and the cops were there. And, it's Luke Bryan's bar. Sorry. And his name's, poor kid's name is Riley Strain. Thank you, Chris. It was Luke Bryan's bar. And cops happened to be there because a car was broken into. But the cops notice he's stumbling and go, hey, how are you doing? And he goes, I'm doing okay. And this is on video. I'm doing okay. How are you? And then he stumbles off. And that's the last he was ever seen. And the theory is, like a lot of places like Vegas, here in Nashville, people are dosing drinks in bars.
No.
So listen, I'm probably wrong. They say they found his wallet. He still had his watch on when they found him in the river. He was downriver, actually near where I'm sitting. And it's either he was so shit-faced he wandered into the river, right? And the reason I thought about it is, do you think it was suicide? Because some of these, like this story, it's hard to tell. But the darker version is he could have been dosed. And then, the huge thing in the village, it was a big story in the gay community, is people are dosing people and then they take them out and they get them in the cab and they go home with them and they steal everything.
Yes.
Yeah. We did a story on that. So they could have dosed him to do that. And then they had to back off when the cops were outside and the cops talked to him. And then they backed off, and maybe because of their cameras, they might even be on camera. And they're like, we can't go through with it. And now this unbelievably drugged kid stumbles into the river.
Oh, got it. Right.
That's my theory, and I'm almost certain I'm wrong. But God, if that happened, that's the saddest goddamn thing.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal, man. Dying at that age. I mean, this is a great story. Thanks for bringing it up.
No, you're welcome. But it was a real national, like everyone was like, his parents are in town. Everyone was like, what happened?
All right, what's going on with Neuralink, Mike?
Neuralink, buddy. Elon Musk. Neuralink live stream shows paralyzed person playing chess on laptop. Elon Musk said in January that the company he co-founded had implanted its first device in a human with the goal of allowing people to control devices just by thinking. Neuralink released a 9-minute video in which its first human patient, who is paralyzed below his shoulders, appears to move a cursor across a laptop screen with nothing but his thoughts. The video shows him playing chess and turning off the laptop's music.
Wow. Then
he typed with his mind. What?
Stephen Hawking is pissed.
Why? He was getting some at the Epstein's Island.
True. Yeah, he did okay.
he moved things around.
Yes, he did.
What's this shit? Then he shut the music off on the laptop. I'm like, what is that about? Then he typed, what kind of ghetto black music is this shit? They cut that out of the video.
Yeah, right. They tried to get him to play checkers, but he couldn't jump anybody. So that's cheap. That's a cheap joke.
He still can't punch the chess timer, though. And also, it is the lamest declaration of checkmate I've ever seen.
Yes.
No drama.
Yeah.
No big finish.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of chess, is that moment where you get to say checkmate. And otherwise, the guy just has to stare and go, oh, okay, yeah, you won.
The least panache ever. Yeah.
I think they better keep an eye on the screen because, a Pornhub window is going to open with a MILF blowing her stepson who's in a wheelchair. He's going to find his category.
Yes. That is funny. Like, you're playing him and all of a sudden he moves and you're trying to figure out it looks like checkmate, but now you have to watch this guy spell out checkmate. C. 2 minutes later, H.
It's like a fucking
E.
Ouija board.
It is like a Ouija board. All right. DNA tests are uncovering the true prevalence of incest. People are discovering the truth. That's why I don't do it. People are discovering the truth about their biological parents with DNA and learning that incest is far more common than many think. In the 80s, feminist scholars argued, based on the testimonies of victims, that incest was far more common than recognized. And in recent years, DNA has offered a new kind of biological proof. Widespread genetic testing is uncovering case after secret case of children born to close biological relatives, providing an unprecedented accounting of incest in modern society.
More like ancestry DNA.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's another reason I won't do 23andMe. I don't want to get the report that says I need to go back and go to 22andMe. My chromosomes are off, Greg.
Yeah.
Because of incest.
Yeah, that's good. It is weird because, well, you're in Tennessee, so you're a little closer to the story than I am, but it is weird that, like, in the Deep South, you can't have an abortion. I think in Texas it says you can't have an abortion except in the case of rape or incest. And really, only in the Deep South do they have to make a distinction between rape and incest. Like, most places, like, I guess those are kind of the same thing.
Well, no, I think there's a lot of consensual incest in the South also.
Yeah.
In addition to the rape kind. But I read more about this story. This is not a joke. And they said it's very hard to put a number on it. And it's almost certainly way higher than we think because of how many shameful pregnancies in incest are aborted.
Uh-huh.
So the DNA test, of course, won't find all those.
Right.
So
why is Denman asking us if we skip down to Florida, man? What does that mean?
Oh, because this sounds like a very Florida story, maybe?
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sick. I get him. All
right, let's get to Uber. A patrolled killer who confessed to his role in a lot of rapes. Do you know why we make so little money on our YouTube views? First of all, there's not a lot of them. And second of all, we get kicked off the algorithm with the constant references
well,
to
okay,
rape.
wait. I do want to say something. You put this story, and we've already commented on your stories, and when you're left to your own devices, what winds up in here?
Well, why am I left to my own devices?
I put a bunch of stories here, but this is what's fascinating. By the way, your next story is about sex trafficking, I think. But hold on a minute. My story wasn't about rape. You just did that in your own mind.
That's true. I raped it up.
In fact, when the story's not about rape, you make it about rape. There's also that. I have a guy playing chess. That's the most heartwarming story in the world.
So you're saying I'm forcing myself on the story?
Well, you force yourself on that story of listen, a lot of consensual, deep feelings and love and all that, and you made it rape.
Yep. A paroled killer who confessed to his role in the serial rapes and murders of 3 young women in Kalamazoo County in the night. Wait, where is that? Well, Kalamazoo County is in where?
Kalamazoo is
I
Michigan,
think it's
isn't
Michigan, yeah. In the 70s, saying he's looking for other ways to make a living after the state shut down his private transportation service. I'm trying to figure that out now, Brent Coster, now 67, said. He had recently started advertising his transportation services with this motto, cash up front or wheels don't roll. But the Michigan Department of Corrections put the brakes on his business, impromptu ride. Coster raped and murdered Pamela Fierno in 1972. He also killed 2 young women from Chicago, both 19, who had stopped at a gas station on their way to Ann Arbor where he worked. This isn't the Uber driver that you want picking you up. Is this music too loud? I'm trying to drown out the voice telling me to murder you.
His motto is cash up front or wheels don't roll, but that's his new motto. His old one was, I'll pick you up and take you right to a shallow grave. That didn't work out so well.
Yeah. He's also signed up to do Uber pools, or as the authorities call it, mass murder.
His appeal should be interesting. Okay, hear me out. It's a niche market. I will only drive dudes. How about that? Let me keep my license.
All right.
Look at my history.
Yeah. Totally not into dudes. A Kentucky couple is in jail on promotion of human trafficking charges.
Greg's story.
After being accused of trying to sell their newborn twin daughters for $5,000. Jackson County authorities charged a 22-year-old woman and 23-year-old man after the couple attempted to sell their children to a family member. The couple's twins were less than a year old. The man's sister-in-law contacted the sheriff's office, told them the couple agreed to sell the twin girls for $5,000. Twins. A month later, the brother would offer them $10,000 to take them back. Have you ever fucking hung out with twin babies?
Overwhelming. I mean, what was this? 300 each, or what was it? 3,000 each, or both for 5,000? Like, I want to see the ad. Listen, they've got their shots. Both have been neutered, and you just keep them in their crate.
Yeah, and they're
so easy.
And they're pure. They're purebred. We're cousins.
Yeah, exactly.
Twin girls in Kentucky. I mean, 5,000 is a steal because in 18 years you're going to make back all your money on their OnlyFans site.
Nice. All right, we're moving to entertainment.
Entertainment.
I've been so busy. I don't have much. There is this series on Apple called, I think, Royal Palms, and it's about Palm Beach, where I just was. But I think it's horrible, but it has it's one of those shiny shows. It has Kristen Wiig, I believe, developed it.
Oh.
But oddly, Ricky Martin, Carol Burnett, Laura Dern.
Oh, yeah, I heard this is good.
Julia Duffy, Allison Janney, who's good in everything, and she's good in this. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I watched 2 episodes.
I'm always wary of shows or movies where they put too many stars in. It usually means they're hiding a bad script.
Well, there are these shiny shows like I think the
White Lotus.
Yeah, White Lotus type shows, and also Big Little Lies. Was that the name of the one? Yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
So sometimes they do well. What's her name from Tennessee here does a lot of them. She just got divorced.
Sandra Bullock?
No, the one from the movie Wild. You know, I call her the White Oprah.
I don't know. I mean, you're not giving me a lot. Southern woman.
I'm very tired.
All right, well, let's get to this. I did Doug Loves Movies, which is one of my favorite podcasts in the world to do. It's so much fun. Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have, and I love Doug.
He's so great. And so I come down, and I'm, to my credit, I'm a very good podcast guest. I am. If I found a niche in show business, it's certainly not as an actor. It's marginal as a stand-up comic, but where I really shine is being a guest on radio or podcast. I've done 50 Howard Stern shows. I've done 23 Rogans. I am the most frequent guest on the Adam Carolla show in history. I do well. It's what I do. But I get on Doug Loves Movies, and I do great when it's just the hanging out part. Before the gaming starts, there's a lot of just hanging out, shooting the shit, and I got a lot of laughs. And then we get to the game, and I flatline. I have no memory. I have no recollection of anything that happens in any movie that I've ever seen, and it was so fucking embarrassing. The first round of the game, they asked the audience for 3 actors. I think they asked for 3 actresses in this case. And you take turns. Each of you has to name a movie from any of the 3 actresses. And then you go to the next person, you go to the next person, you keep going around. There's three panelists and Doug, and you just keep going around until you run out, and then you're out of the game, and it's the last one standing. So
Jesus. I couldn't even remember Reese Witherspoon's name just now.
Oh.
And she wants to be the White Oprah. I don't think she is.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's good. So Sam Levine, who you know from Freaks and Geeks, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he has a photographic memory. So it's just you kick back and you just you're amazed by this guy. All right, so I'm going to quiz you. This was the first round.
I literally have no sleep last night. I flew from Florida.
Good. This is going to make me feel so much better about myself. The only reason I'm doing it is so you could do badly.
You know I'm worse with names than you are. You know that.
All right, so I'm going to give you 3 actresses, and you're going to name as many films from these 3 actresses as you can.
Can I pass already?
Let's start with Sandra Bullock. How many Sandra Bullock movies can you name?
15.
Go.
I have to name them?
Yep. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Come on, do it.
Oh, Jesus. No. The Blind Side. I mean,
yep,
I'm probably going to get to 4.
You understand? I got a total of 3 answers among 3 actresses, and then I was out.
And I'm not allowed to say like the one on the bus.
Nope.
No, I'm going to be terrible. I'm going to be just drawing blanks. How long do you have? Do you have to go rapid fire? You said they go around.
They give you time.
All right. I wonder how many I really could name. Like there's things like, she was in that courtroom drama with Matthew McConaughey. Like it was, I won't remember the name of it.
Time to Kill.
Okay, yeah. And I wouldn't have gotten A Time to Kill.
All right.
Lake House.
A
Time to Kill. The Lake House. The Far Side. Why am I spacing on the one on the bus? It's great title. Forgot what it is.
Speed.
Speed, yes.
Yeah.
What else? Let's see. What else has she done?
Comedies. She did a comedy.
Miss Congeniality.
Yep.
Miss Congeniality. She was the one with Hugh Grant. I'm forgetting the name of that one. I'm not really a
All right, let me give you some just to show you how many you missed. Demolition Man. While you were sleeping.
Nope, wouldn't have gotten it.
The Proposal.
Yeah, that's, I think, what I was trying to think of. One of them.
The Heat with Melissa McCarthy.
Okay, I would have gotten that, I think.
Ocean's 8.
Nope, I forgot it.
The Lost City.
No idea.
Crash.
I forgot she was in it. So many fucking people were in that.
The Unforgivable.
The Unforgivable? I don't even know what that is.
I think it was a Western.
No, that's Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yeah.
Unforgiven.
Oh. Bird Box.
Oh, that never was in theaters.
All right, this one's gonna get you Gravity.
I wish I was blindfolded during that movie.
You missed Gravity.
Oh yes, Gravity. That's a bit. No, there's other big ones that she's done.
All right, second actress I was given was Sarah Silverman. Name some Sarah Silverman movies.
That's ridiculous. Aren't there 4?
6.
Oh,
8.
Sarah.
No, there's 8.
Yeah, but that's Doug's friend, and that's all their. She was just in with Bradley Cooper in Maestro.
Right. All right, so you got one more than I did for Sarah Silverman.
She showed her boobs in an independent movie in New York.
Yeah.
That's all I got on that one.
I think it was called I Smile
Something About
Back.
Mary. She's in Something About Mary.
Oh, there you go.
Come on now.
She was in School of Rock.
I didn't see it.
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Never saw it.
I think that was
Seth. Isn't that?
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. All right,
Oh,
finally,
no.
Finally, this is a tough one, and yet I consider her to be top 3 living actresses today. Cate Blanchett.
Yeah. What do you want?
Names of movies. Let's stick with that theme.
Cate Blanchett was in a soccer movie. That's when we first saw her. Called My Right Foot. Bend It? No, it was Bend It. Bend It. Was it even Bend It Like Beckham?
I don't think she was in Bend It Like Beckham. No, that's not the kind of movie she does.
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong person. I'm thinking of the wrong British gal.
You thinking? No, she's Australian. Cate Blanchett.
Cate Blanchett, I just saw it. She was a conductor, and it was her name, and it was one word. I forget what it was. Did it begin with a T? What was her?
Great.
What was she nominated for?
She was in, ready for this? Elizabeth. She should have remembered Elizabeth's.
No, I know Cate Blanchett. She had Blue Jasmine.
Yes, she was in Blue Jasmine.
No, she's amazing. She's one of my favorites.
Unbelievable. Carol was a really good movie. That came out a few years ago. Lord of the Rings, Indiana Jones.
What?
Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Well, I think it was the remake of the Indiana Jones.
All right.
Thor, Ocean's 8. She was also in Ocean's 8. Anyway, this
you
is
should
probably
say Ocean's 8 for whatever actress.
This is probably dragged on way too long. I just wanted to feel better about
no,
myself.
No, come on.
You for,
keep going. Well, what's the one where she's a conductor?
I have no idea.
Musical
Maestro?
Conductor. No, it just came out. She was amazing, and she had that great line. She was teaching a class at Juilliard.
Oh, right.
Oh, not Tusk. It's like that.
Yeah.
People are fucking going crazy listening to this podcast. We like to bring you into our frustration. And anyway,
it's called Tar.
Tar. She said to the student didn't want to do, I think it might have been Brahms or something, because the more they've learned about the personal life of that conductor, and the kid didn't want to, he was terrible. Brahms was terrible to women or something like that. And so he wouldn't do that, or Mahler or something. And anyway, she lectured him on it. And then one of her lines was, "Don't be so eager to be offended." And I love that.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's make America Florida.
That wore me out. That was embarrassing. Yeah, I have nothing. Here we go.
How do you think
Florida.
I felt in front of a crowd full of people being recorded for millions to listen to and being silent and not even having a saver? Like, I should have had jokes about how badly I was doing. That would have saved it easily.
Yeah, I definitely, it's kind of like how we compensate when we panic, not remembering someone's name.
Right.
Like, we come up with jokes. Right. Like, I would have done some runner like Schindler's List, like for everyone. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I should have done. I should have named bad guesses and gotten a laugh.
I know, but it's, they can see through that. And to top it off, everyone you were with was completely stoned. Is that true?
No, he was. And then there was a woman who was on who was not stoned. I wish I could remember her name because she was fantastic. Anyway. All right. Make America Florida.
Florida man shot his roommate 10 times over argument over cats. The victim lived, by the way. But according to an affidavit, 59-year-old Glenn White shot his female roommate 10 times. 7 of the shots were in her lower extremities, twice in her ribs, and once in her finger. The dude went 10 for 10.
That's pretty good.
He does not miss.
That's it. And I'm guessing the one in her finger was after a few shots, she kind of put up her finger like, hold up a second. Then
he took that out. The victim said he moved in with 3 cats, but it quickly doubled to 6 cats.
That'll happen.
According to the affidavit, the victim said that she would like his 6 cats to live outside the house instead of inside. So, moments later, he began shooting at her. I am going to kill you, bitch. White told her, I am going to kill you.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is truly an animal activist.
Wait till she gets home from the hospital and all 12 cats are inside.
Right.
Yeah,
just put your cats outside. We're in Florida, just near that lake with the alligators, or near the dumpsters with the stray dogs and raccoons, or, by the bar with the drunk hunters coming out. It's Florida. What could happen?
Was it Georgia or Florida? But last week we did a story where the woman lost her cat. Remember, she lost Kevin
for 12
Durant.
years or something? Yeah, Kevin Durant.
Her cat, Kevin Durant.
Yeah. You read one of these stories and you just want the end of the story to say, the final line is, he then turned the gun on himself.
No, who's going to take care of the cats?
That's true.
There's like 3 pregnant cats.
Yeah.
Tampa, we're going to do another Florida story. Tampa, Sheriff Marcos Lopez apologized after a photo of a dead body was posted to his Instagram page over the weekend. Sorry, that's not funny, but according to the Sentinel, the photo depicted the body of someone lying under brush wearing a green top and jeans. It was posted alongside a collection of photos about a community event that was being promoted for seniors. Hey, old friends, come on down to the community center. Just look how fun it'll be.
We party hard. Some people wake up with a hangover. Some people don't wake up.
Yeah. They must have been terrified.
In his defense, it's Tampa. It's hard to swing a dead cat without hitting a dead person.
That's true.
He had a green top. Another Jets fan murdered in Florida.
Yeah.
Probably suicide.
Undoubtedly suicide. We're going to go make Texas, Florida. Houston, Texas. 3 bank robbery suspects are now in custody, according to the FBI in Houston. They confirmed that they are 16, 12, and 11 years old. The trio made headlines when authorities shared on social media that they were wanted for allegedly robbing a Wells Fargo bank. The boys passed a threatening note to a teller. They were believed to be armed, though they did not present a weapon, and they got away with an undisclosed amount of cash. A retired judge said the age of the younger 2, that's unusual for a bank robbery. Unusual? 11 and 12-year-olds robbing banks? That's a thing? What do you mean unusual?
We're seeing a pattern of this. They get a little crazy. Puberty hasn't hit yet. They've got these bikes. They're going really fast on them. They're thinking, what can I do with it?
And 16's not unusual?
Right.
He had to make that. So the sheriff's office said authorities recovered a weapon and a distinctive item pictured in one of the photos. What was it? A fidget toy? Was it a remote control car or a razor scooter? What was it?
Yeah, they knew
Typical
their ages
things.
because they asked for the money in quarters for the arcade, which for a bank,
Yeah,
the
a little
note,
heavy.
and the note, they could tell because the note said, if you could low-key and not cringy, just put the money in the WWE backpack because we're broke as fuck, okay, boomer?
Oh.
All right, let's hit some sports.
You got it. Here we go. By the way, before we get to, because you have a specific story in here, I was in an airport. Yeah, I had a connect in Atlanta, and I watched the end of the Yale game. Did you see that?
Tell me what sport we're talking about.
March Madness.
Oh,
the
okay,
sport
basketball.
everyone is watching.
Not me.
I do want to check how the unders are doing. That's my favorite bet this time of year. I bet the under on every single March Madness game. But anyway, Yale, heavy underdog against Auburn. And I'm in Atlanta, and I am rooting so hard for Auburn to lose. And I was not popular in the airport bar. But Yale beat them in the last minute was an eternity, and it was fouling, and 3 foul shots were missed in the last 20 seconds of the game.
Wow.
It was
amazing.
amazing.
Why are you rooting against Yale? Just because it's a really good school that you couldn't get into, so you just kind of resent them?
No. I was rooting for Yale.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, when you saw the game, did seem incredibly racist. I wish either the Yale players were not all white or I wasn't white. It was not a good look.
Oh, I see.
In the
it's like
in
being
the
a
Atlanta
Celtics
airport.
fan.
Yeah. And but the Auburn men, oh my God, they're crying, and it was crazy.
No, we did that bet last year where you took the unders, and I ended up owing you like $400 or something crazy.
Favorite bet ever. But boy, is it heartbreaking. I mean, you have an under all wrapped up, and then the fouls start in the last 10 seconds. They score 14 points.
Or it goes to overtime.
Yeah, there's also that.
I forgot to forward you. Greg Garcia asked us to be in a March Madness pool, and he asked me to forward it to you, and I didn't.
No, he then contacted me because you dropped that ball, and then I forgot to enter his pool. I just had too much going on.
In a startling development involving baseball's biggest global superstar, Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, training partner, and constant companion was allegedly taking significant sums of money from him in an effort to settle gambling debts. Mitsuhara, who has been by the superstar's side from the beginning. Ohtani has a record 10-year, $700 million contract with the Dodgers.
Highest paid.
So Ohtani's name emerged in a federal investigation of an Orange County resident allegedly tied to illegal bookmaking. The sum Mitsuhari is accused of stealing was in the millions of dollars.
Right.
So the interpreter, I guess he was acting as Ohtani's interpreter, and they should have smelled a rat because some of the translations he was saying was like, Mr. Ohtani is thrilled about paying the $700 million. He can't wait to take this $695 million payday and put it to good use. Just imagine what $672 million could do to help a children's league. I mean, with $659 million, I can really do a lot to help the world. I thank the Dodgers for the $622 million and hope to help the team.
I'm wondering where in that paragraph you got canceled.
When did I turn into a Thai woman is my question.
Omelette, egg, swapper, Frank toast. Dude, this is Ohtani, man. I'm calling it. I have a lot of theories today. I understand, and I'm hoping they're all wrong, especially the kid in the river. But I'm sorry. All right. First, a little perspective. If the guy was stealing, he has a $700 million contract, and apparently he's stealing like $4 or $5 million. That's like $4 out of $700.
Yeah, right.
That's what you're taking. But I don't. This guy seems so loyal. Every article talks about how loyal. He's always by this guy's side. I think he is being the fall guy for Ohtani himself. I think Ohtani was betting on sports and distancing himself from it.
Oh, interesting.
Through this guy.
Yeah. Huh.
That's what I'm thinking. Smells like a rat.
Yep. What about your other little joke? Did you write this joke? I wonder if he bet on Ohtani or against him on the way to the game. Here, have this smoothie I made for you. Yeah, it's a little powdery. That's the protein.
Oh, yeah. I did write that.
That was a good joke.
Yeah, that was a good joke. I forgot to highlight it in my color in blue, so I didn't see it.
Well, I got it now. You son of a bitch.
Also, since I wrote that joke, I've thought that it's not the guy's fault, so I forgot about it.
All right, let's get to international.
Here you go.
Oh, big story. This should even go under the correction section this week because Kate, the Princess of Wales, which, first of all, do you really, you're a princess, but you're the Princess of fucking Wales. You ever been to Wales? Cold, rainy, boring. This is like being the fucking King of Staten Island, as Pete Davidson was. So she was diagnosed...
Yeah.
It turns out, after all the hoopla, she was diagnosed with cancer and is undergoing chemotherapy. Oh, my God. All the horrible speculation. People must feel so bad about this. So she had major abdominal surgery. They have not disclosed the type of cancer, but she's doing chemo. It sparked a lot of outpouring of support. And comes as her father-in-law, King Charles III, also underwent cancer treatment. And as you can imagine, this has taken time, but has taken me time to recover, she said, from major surgery in order to start my treatment. And look, it's tough to make cancer jokes at a time like this. But let's try. Instead of kissing a toad, I think Kate was kissing a lead pipe.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
All right. I knew something was up when I saw Meghan Markle skipping down the street. I knew it was going to be bad news. I just knew it then.
Yeah. King Henry VIII had 8 wives. William is putting out feelers for number 2 right now. So, that's nothing.
I'm wondering if it's like, because I don't know if any of the talk before it was just totally made up or maybe it was a little related, but they said it was like a stomach surgery.
Yes,
right?
I think so.
So this isn't a joke, but I'm wondering if it's like, poor thing, by the way, ovarian cancer or something like that. But that's a kingmaker. Those ovaries are a kingmaker. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
Or a queen maker.
Yeah, they better freeze those babies now.
No, but listen, I think in fairness to us, last week we were just saying, hey, something is going on. Just be honest about it.
Yeah.
I think that was our take.
Right. That's all. And, I feel bad about making those cheap jokes, but, chemo is rough. She should get ready for princess diarrheas.
Jesus. That's not even... It's kind of wordplay.
I know. It's like a syllable off from working.
You took her dead mother-in-law's name.
I know. I know. But all right, let's get to science.
Yep.
A new study published by the way, I wish you had read this and written some jokes because this is like a premise from the gods.
Okay, let me say.
Here's the problem with you, with your ADHD. You read half the script, and you never write jokes for anything in the second half of the script.
No, but I have jokes on all this, but
a new study published in the Journal of Marine Mammal Science is shedding new light on the potential sexual preferences of non-human mammals. In the article, a pair of citizen photographers captured a pair of male humpback whales mating off the coast of Maui. They shared the photos with me for my opinion, and when I saw them, I was just stunned, she said. According to the footage shared with Stack, the two whales were seen copulating in a pair of sessions that lasted around 2 minutes each. So now I know why they're called humpbacks. Can you dry hump technically in a body of water? If you're in the Pacific, can you still dry hump?
Well, my first instinct, but I see you wrote it down below. But we're talking about animals with blowholes. It's right there.
Yeah. Male, female, nobody gives a shit. They're blowholes. A blowhole's a blowhole.
Yeah.
And did you hear about the new gay whales dating app? Blubber.
What's it called?
Blubber.
Very good.
Wait till they get footage of the gay sperm whales. That's going to be a little hotter. I think that's going to trend a little higher on the internet.
Yeah. Gay whale. I should have. I mean, that's the title of the story. I should have. If I could remember names, I'd cough up some celebrity names and make a joke right there.
Yeah. Well, Richard Simmons. I mean, there used to be
not that big.
There used to be bears. You know, gays love bears. Now they love whales. You see a lot of scuba diving off of Key West.
It is a good story.
Yeah, it's a great story.
They also, I think they found, it mentioned other mammals because I think dolphins they've also found, I think.
Yeah, and manatees are gay. Just
in general?
Just in general.
Yeah, they're like real queenie about everything.
All right, let's skip this next one and get to this day in history.
Here it is. This day in history, okay. We are talking about the 24th of March. On this day, the oil tanker Exxon Valdez ran aground, spilling 11 million gallons of oil into Prince William Sound in Alaska, creating the largest oil spill in U.S. history. Sadly, up till that time, it has been beaten. So I'm going to give you...
Was that Joseph Hazelwood? Was that Captain Hazelwood? That seems to ring a bell.
No, I had a different guy.
Oh.
And I think, another theory from me today, he was the fall guy because they said he was drunk and that's why it happened. My mind immediately went to one of the largest corporations in the world crashes this tank, which is going to bring on all this criticism of them. I think they made the guy drink alcohol and blow an illegal score. And it also helped with their insurance and all that stuff.
Huh.
Because I think it was taking a shortcut or something. I might be wrong. I know that oil spill happened in Australia because of that. They tried to cut corners and save a ton of fuel, and they didn't go all the way around like a reef or something like that.
All I know is I used to drink and drive, and I once hit a parking meter. I never hit a continent. That's drinking and driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Captain,
so what year was this? I'm going to
give you give or take 3 years.
I remember.
You're right. Joseph Hazelwood. Look at you.
Yeah. I remember this pretty well because I had started doing stand-up at this time and I had jokes about it. So it must have been around the time we graduated college. I'm going to go, well, we graduated in 89, so I'll say 89.
It's 1989.
Nice.
Hey, get this, man. Hey, the charges were cleared after witnesses testified that he was sober around the time of the accident.
I remember that. And also, it changed the way they built those oil tankers. They used to be one giant cargo tank, and now they divided it into a bunch so that if it punctured, you would only lose a percentage of the oil, not the whole tanker.
Gotcha. All right, let's see here. What do we want to do? We're going to do Film stars Denzel Washington and Halle Berry became the second and third African Americans to win Academy Awards for performances in leading roles. What year? I'm going to say give or take 5 years.
Well, I believe for Halle Berry, the role was Monster. No, not Monster.
I think you're right.
Was it Monster?
I think so.
No, Monster was the one with Charlize Theron. I think it had the word monster
Monsters
in it.
Ball.
Monsters Ball, yeah.
She did ball on that.
I'm good. That was sexy. Make me feel good.
Billy Bob Thornton. You see?
Yeah.
We got some movies. The good ones have stuck.
All right, so
I'm not going to remember
say,
fucking Sandra Bullock movies.
I'm going to say that came out in about 96.
What did I say, 5 years?
Yeah.
Nice. I win. 2002.
Ugh. Missed it by a year.
All right, let's do this one. American magician Harry Houdini was born on this day, give or take 20 years.
Okay. Houdini, I'm thinking, was performing in the late 1800s. I'm going to say 1860.
Shit. 1874.
Nice.
You did it. Let's see. There's not a lot of juicy stuff here. I mean, like, Jules Verne died. Fatty Arbuckle was born. Yeah. Peyton Manning was born. See, these aren't fun. Want to do tomorrow? Oh, how about this? We already talked about it. Queen Elizabeth I was born.
Oh, Jesus.
Nope. She died on this day. She was 69 years old, and she died on this day, give or take 150 years.
Jesus. The first, I'm going to say 1700.
I let you in there. 1603.
Nice.
Yeah.
That bitch was old.
All right, hold on. We'll get another fun one. Ready? And we're going to get it from Monday. Let's see here. Oh, no. Yeah,
these royal bitches live long, man, because unless they get chased by the paparazzi. But they're so well taken care of. Like, watch this Kate. She's going to beat this cancer and live forever. They get the best doctors. They have no stress in their life. They get massages.
Yep. Jesus, these are boring goddamn days, man. Holy shit.
Well, what site are you on?
Britannica.
Uh-huh.
They have everything. All right, so according to tradition, that's what it says here, the city of Venice, Italy was founded on this day, give or take 600 years.
Venice, Italy was founded in 1350.
451.
Oh, man. I was off by 1,000 years.
Yeah, it's mostly birthdays. So this wasn't that much fun. Right. This wasn't that much fun.
Maybe if you look in advance next time, you can search for the whole week.
No.
That's what it could be. It could be from the whole week.
All right, here's a good one.
All right.
German composer Beethoven died of cirrhosis of the liver at the age of 56 on this day. I'm going to give or take 40 years.
Beethoven died in 1870.
Oh, no, I win. 1827.
Shit.
I won by 3 years. That was a good one. All right. What are we doing?
Let's get to, speaking of people dying, it's time for the obituary.
And that's all, folks.
Yeah, sadly. Oh, man. Even though he died in Vermont, where he's from, or went to high school and stuff, he lived in Culver City, and we knew him. M. Emmett Walsh. punchy and prolific character actor who was called the Poet of Sleaze by Roger Ebert for his naturalistic portrayals of repellent lowlifes and miscreants. He died on Tuesday in a small city, St. Albans, in northern Vermont. He was 88. The most enduring praise Mr. Walsh received also came from Roger Ebert. He coined the Stanton-Walsh rule, which asserted that, quote, no movie featuring either Harry Dean Stanton or M. Emmett Walsh in a supporting role can be altogether bad. I think that's a pretty cool insight.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So if you guys don't know who we're talking about, he has this very round face. He's bald. And I mean, the Coen brothers loved him. But listen to these movies he was in. Midnight Cowboy, Little Big Man, What's Up, Doc, Serpico, Bound for Glory, Slapshot, The Jerk, The Gift, Ordinary People, Reds, Blade Runner, Silkwood, Blood Simple, The Pope of Greenwich Village, Fletch, Back to School, Raising Arizona, and about 100 more.
No, like 240. He had like 240 movies in his credits. That's 5 movies a year for 20 years.
Oh, was he? Chris is running. He was in Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, that's right. But Raising Arizona, to me, was like, I mean, Blood Simple, he was incredible. And that movie was filmed on a shoestring budget, like just a fucking bare bones crew.
Yeah, he was haunted.
And he was incredible. But then also they put him in Raising Arizona in that great scene where he's like the machine shop guy in the prison. Telling a story.
The spherical object in the road.
Yeah.
Parker, not that mother scratcher.
Yeah. So anyway, farewell to you, Emmett Smith, and
he was
all
in
the films
Culver.
you did.
My brother-in-law George would see him. So there was a park right near their house, and he would walk in that park like most days apparently. And George said, anyone, including George, who had a dog, he would stop and ask if he could pet the dog, and then he would chat with people.
Nice.
Yep, he was just out there for a nice little healthy walk and was so nice. Yeah, really great.
That's kind of the fun thing about L.A. is the old people that were famous just kind of want to hang out and talk. Like, remember Jackie Mason?
Yeah.
Jackie Mason used to hang out at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf on in the marina, and he'd sit at the same table outside from like 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day, and you could just sit at his table, and he'd hold court. I did it like 3 times. It was unbelievable.
That's fantastic.
All right, let's cheer up. Let's cheer up and get to the funnies.
All righty, here we go.
All right, so old Hagar the Horrible, there's a guy who looks like a butler at a castle, and he's talking to the king, and he says, Hagar ransacked the entire castle, Duke, or he's a duke, and the duke says, my useless guards allowed it? Bring them to me. And then the butler says, they're not here. Hagar invited them to the victory party, where your wife is getting gangbanged, by the way. I wasn't going to mention it, but they couldn't get a cake, so...
They couldn't get a cake? They were going to gangbang a cake?
Yes. They could put the frosting on it.
You do want to go to a Hagar victory party. I think you do.
Oh, dude. That would be the sickest bash ever. All right, let's get to the Lockhorns. Bunny was on fire this week. The first one... Loretta is holding Leroy from behind. He's in his lounge chair.
So warm.
And she's got a smile on her face. It's very warm. And he goes, a smile is just a frown that's not paying attention. Oh, my God. That shit is dark.
He always takes the wind out of her sail. Now, she rarely has wind in her sails. What are we talking about?
Here's another one where she's happy. The two of them are walking out of the marriage counselor's office. They're arm in arm. They're looking at each other, and they're smiling. And the marriage counselor goes, I've done it. Nobel Peace Prize, here I come.
I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, because those two.
Yeah.
Finally, she's not so happy in this last one. Leroy is sleeping on the couch, and she goes, Leroy believes in expanding his unconsciousness. That's fucking good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I wish I could
All
nap
right.
like all these comic book guys. You know?
Oh, I know.
They just enjoy their Saturdays. They just lay around on the couch. I can never nap.
You don't do a nap? You
Can't nap.
do nap.
Completely unable to nap.
What if after this podcast you try to meditate? You don't fall asleep trying to meditate?
Nope. It energizes me. I mean, when I do nap, the only time I nap is like I have a late show and then I got to get up the next morning and do morning radio and I only get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Then I go down. But then when I wake up, I'm so out of it for the rest of the day. It's almost worse than just like pushing through it. I would say like when I wake up from a nap, I feel like I should be looking up at Bill Cosby, pulling up his fly.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, right? Isn't like 25 minutes the ideal time or something like that?
Yeah, more than 25, they say Bill Cosby comes in.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I quickly grabbed a Family Circus. I got to find a new one. Kathy didn't work out. Non Sequitur was okay. I've done Far Side. So I got to find another one.
Suggestions from the listeners. If any of you guys think we have a cartoon that's so bad that we can critique it or so good that we can enjoy it, send it in. fitzdogradio@gmail.com.
That's a good way of putting it. Okay, so here's Family Circus.
Oh, by the way, before you get into it, we've been getting tons of comments on the YouTube channel, which is very nice. Don't forget the show is available on YouTube. And if you want to say nice things, we love it. And Mike replies to all of them.
Yeah, look at that. I engage. I'm a man of the people, as we've established.
You're very socially media savvy.
Yeah. So here's Family Circus, and it looks like they're getting ready to throw a party. They have all the glasses out, and there's a big table with a lot of hors d'oeuvres and like crackers with cheese and spreads on them. And the kids, the little redheaded kid and the fucking blonde guy,
Billy
are
Bobby,
up standing on chairs, and they're on the table pointing to these trays of cheese and crackers. Parents are in the background. And then you hear what's being said, which is, are there any crackers with nothing on them? So that's a statement. So the child is making a statement, and it seems to me to be an honest question with zero humor in it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem clever, and it doesn't seem unusual. And he also doesn't know he could just fucking dump shit off the cracker.
I remember my sister, when we were little kids, my parents used to have dinner parties, and my mom would put out crackers with spreads on them. And at one point, our friend Pat McCauley picked up a cracker and took a bite out of it. And she goes, why is this cracker soggy? Cut to my sister on the other side of the table with a cracker and licking the spread off of it and putting it back on the tray.
That's perfect. She didn't have to ask her parents a stupid question.
Right, just fucking go to work.
Just do it.
Be a doer.
That's fantastic.
And now
no offense, I can't imagine how bad the food was at your parents' cocktail party. Like, I think it was like so far down the list of priorities.
Oh my God. No, it was all about the booze. My mother used to get shrimp from the grocery store, and then she would make me cut out the veins in the belly. I'd have to peel it and then cut out the veins in the belly, and then she would put ketchup in a dish to go with it. And then she would put out cream cheese and jelly on pieces of cracker as well. Yeah.
As long as there was Johnny Walker, everything was fine.
That was their drink, Johnny Walker Red.
Was it really?
Yeah, they love Johnny Walker Red.
Ah.
So now here's fucking Dagwood missing another golden opportunity. I wish just for 1 week, put me in his body, animate me, and let me take the opportunities that are presented to me by my gorgeous wife, Blondie. All right, so she's wearing a pink top, a black velvet skirt above the knee. The calves look like little bowling pins. The hair is done up. It's yellow. And he's standing behind her. She's looking in the closet, and he goes, I don't know what to wear to the party tonight. And she goes, consider yourself lucky. You've got me to help you. And she picks out some clothing, and she goes, I only have myself to rely on. Okay, now I'm there. Pull up a fucking armchair, kick my pants off, and go, all right, sweetie, why don't you dress and undress for about 20 minutes? I'll give you some comments. I'll give you some feedback on that thong that you're probably wearing, on that lacy brassiere that you're pushing your tits out of. Yeah, I'll give you a little help.
How long ago do you think the thong was a form of underwear? Not lingerie, but underwear. I don't know.
80s?
Oh, you don't think in the 1970s they sold thongs
probably
generally
the 70s. The 70s.
Probably to deal with the panty lines, right? Anyway, back to this. I think it's a sexual. There's you got to read between the lines here. I think there's a double meaning. She really does only have herself to rely on to be sexually satisfied, even satisfied in any way in this marriage.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Denman's got some research. The thong was incorporated into the vocabulary of women's underwear in the 1980s in response to tighter trousers, especially jeans worn by women to display more of their gym-honed bodies in that era of emphasized muscled body shape. Now, when do you remember thongs on the beach? Not in Europe, but here in America.
On me. I don't know. I mean, was it like the swimsuit issues where we would see the fur? You're like, cheap. Well, Brazilian, right? Foreign.
No, I'm saying in America. Venice Beach, when's the first time you started seeing thongs?
Oh, I don't know. They must have been here. I mean, they must have been here when we moved here.
I feel like I only really started seeing them about 6, 7, 8 years ago. And I remember the first time I saw a woman in a thong on the beach, it was like we were a group of people and everybody stopped. Like, what the fuck? You never saw that shit. And now it's more, I would say a majority of women on the beach are wearing thongs.
Yeah. And it's also, which is great. I think women are less self-conscious about having to have the craziest body ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think more women are wearing thongs who maybe wouldn't 10 years ago. Well, so there's tons of them.
Now Denman's got this little clip. In 1970, fashion designer Rudy Gurnish created the thong bikini. It became popular quickly because in this decade, people wanted to look sexier. And then in 1939, thongs appeared in America. New York Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia ordered that all dancers at the 1939 World's Fair must cover up their bodies. The problem was that these women were professional burlesque dancers, and taking off their clothes was part of their job.
Oh, Fiorello.
Yeah.
Rain on their parade.
All right, so listen.
Okay.
You guys, we appreciate you listening. Thank you. Sunday Papers is a joy, and we're glad that you keep showing up every week. We'd like to remind you to support our sponsor, Game Time. Go to Game Time app, download it, and then use code PAPERS for $20 off your first purchase. Also, we want to thank Midcoast Media and Chris Denman for helping put the show together. Mike, anything you want to promote?
Well, I forgot to mention up top, I forgot my microphone.
Oh, right.
People don't see it, though, but I've been talking into my iPhone, so hopefully it sounded okay, but I apologize. That's all on me. I left it in Florida.
Okay.
It's recording crimes down there right now.
Also, we got a few koozies left. How many koozies we got left?
Oh, well, we could always order more.
All right, well, if you want to get the ones we have.
A new order just came in.
But the beauty is they'll go out right away. We are now on top of it. If you want a koozie, it's $10 including shipping. Go to fitzdog.com. Look for the link. It will instruct you how you can Venmo Mike and get that koozie within a week. Just in time for the spring.
If Justin in Portland and Patrick in Lebanon and John in Tucson and Jeff in, where the hell is Jeff? I wonder if they got him in Kenmore. And of course, Carrie in Litchfield Park, Arizona. 2 of them went out. Poor Carrie. It's been nothing but debacles getting the koozies to her.
You're such a great salesman. You really instill belief in people to send their money over to you to get a koozie.
Yes, look at this attention. Look at this. We're not going to let, we're leaving
Nothing
no man or woman behind.
We get to everybody eventually. All right.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next time.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. Where it's at. 2 turntables and a microphone. Where it's at. 2 turntables and a microphone.
Koozies, 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 koozies.
Hey now.
Koozies, 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 koozies.
Fucking.
Koozies, 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 koozies. Koozies, 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 koozies. Koozies, 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 koozies.
Hey now. That's crazy.
What just happened?
That was weird. I don't want that on our professional podcast.